And now on the line is Gráinne Ní Mháille. Gráinne is from the MADRA Dog Rescue Shelter in Galway. Gráinne, welcome to the programme.
Hi, how are you?
Cool. Gráinne, most of our listeners listening to us today on Near FM will be based in Dublin. I've done a good few radio interviews over the years with spokespeople from Dogs Trust, recently Dog Advocacy Ireland, along with interviewing some general animal rights activists in general in Ireland. Can you tell our listeners today on Near FM, Gráinne, for those who don't know, about who MADRA are and the kind of work that you do, and what is different between yourselves and Dogs Trust?
Yeah, well, as you said, we are a rescue centre and we're based in Camas in Connemara in County Galway. And what we do is we rescue, rehome and rehabilitate dogs from within Galway and kind of further out from Galway as well, depending on the circumstances. And our main thing is currently we're doing a lot of rehabilitation with dogs because we're getting a lot of dogs in with, social anxieties and behavioural issues. And then we rehome all the dogs that come through to us. I suppose we're a very small organisation, we're a very small charity, and based in Connemara. And Dogs Trust are nationwide. They're the biggest rescue in Ireland, so that's kind of a big difference between the two of us. But we do work with them. We have worked with them in the past. We all have the Dogs Trust and ourselves. We have the same values, and we want the same thing for the dogs in Ireland.
Am I right in saying that you do not personally work full-time for MADRA, do you not?
No, I do not. I'm a volunteer and I am on the board of directors as well.
Okay. How did you get involved with MADRA, Gráinne?
I started doing volunteer work with MADRA in 2009, so I started going out to the kennels and walking the dogs. And then I did actually work for MADRA for a while in the kennels and the shops. And since then I have been taken on as a member of the board.
Okay. Is there any particular reason that you just said a minute ago there's been an increase in dogs coming to your going to your shelter with kind of social anxiety? Is there any reason for the growth in that? Do you know?
I think that I can't say for sure, but I know that the same trend is being seen in Ireland and in the UK. I think dogs are coming from very difficult backgrounds, and a lot of rescues are, I suppose, working with pounds, and not as many dogs are being put to sleep. And maybe it just means then that they're coming through to us, and we're doing what we can to rehabilitate them. And we have had in the last few years a lot of dogs come from hoarding situations, and generally speaking, they're not very well socialised. So it takes a lot of work with them on our team out at the kennels, on our volunteers, to try and bring them around and try and help them trust humans again and trust that, we're going to look after them and do what's best for them.
I missed what you said there. The dogs are coming from hoarding. What's it called? Hoarding or halting, or what is it?
Oh, like hoarding situations where there would be a high numbers of dogs, maybe in the one shed or in the one area, in the one house. So there'd be a lot of dogs, and maybe they don't have a lot of interactions then with people, and maybe quite often they're just left to their own devices, and it takes it out on them.
The issue of puppy farming is a huge issue in Ireland, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And since COVID and everything, and people who were at home and were looking for dogs, there were huge issues then with people breeding dogs and trying to make money. And since kind of all of the COVID restrictions have eased, not as many people are looking for dogs, but people were still breeding dogs, I presume, to make money. And what we're seeing now is that there's not as many people interested in adopting dogs, but in actual fact, there's a lot of people who are trying to surrender their dogs. And so we've got this overpopulation of dogs looking for homes, but no homes for them.
I believe that, I've been aware of your organisation for a few years now. I believe that, in Galway and Connacht in general, you're probably the most recognised dog shelter in Galway and Connacht, do you?
I think we're a very small organisation, but we're very well known, and we work very hard to do everything that we can for the dogs in our care and for the public. You know, you have to look after the humans if you want to look after the dogs as well. So we're very lucky. We have a very large following, and we have absolutely wonderful supporters who, anytime that we put the call out for help, they come helping us. So yeah, we'd be, I suppose, very well known as a small rescue goes.
Yeah, I find it amazing. I was looking at your Facebook yesterday. You have over 80,000 followers on Facebook. Like for an Irish kind of regional organisation, I think that's a huge number of people.
Yeah, we have our social media volunteers are absolutely amazing, and the work that they do to keep everything across social media and the websites updated, and and to get the dog stories out there and to get information out there to people and to put up training tips. And it's just as important to get that, important information like that across to people, not just information about our dogs. So our volunteers work really hard to make sure that we're sending out positive information, and that people who email in or message in get a reply. And you're not going to get a reply straight away, but everybody gets a reply, and we couldn't do it without our volunteers. It's just not possible. So we are hugely thankful to them for everything that they do and to help MADRA have the presence that it has.
Do you have many volunteers, do you?
We have a huge number of volunteers. We are mainly volunteer run.
Okay. I find it very interesting as well that your shelter is based, as you said, in Carna, in the heart of the Conamara-based. I haven't been to your shelter or Carna in general yet, although I have been in Connemara several times, other parts of Connemara. Is the Irish language to be heard much in Carna, Gráinne, like, for example, when visitors come to visit your centre?
Well, the shelter is actually based in Camas, not Carna.
Okay,
so,
sorry.
But that is still in the Gaeilge. There is Irish to be heard, but unfortunately, it's not every day or anything. There are a lot of volunteers who speak Irish. Well, there are a handful of volunteers who speak Irish, and when we're around each other, we're more than happy to speak Irish and to provide a service to people in Irish. But our main concern is that the dogs get looked after, and that can be done in any language. So we welcome anybody to come and help us.
I won't keep much longer on Ros Muc interview. I'm just wondering, Camus, is the area Camus strong for the Irish language still, just in the area in general?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There would be a huge love of Irish in Camus, and for most people, it would probably be what's the word I'm looking for? It's the language that is used daily. It's the working language of the area.
I'm delighted to hear that, because there's so much talk you hear nowadays in reports and stuff saying that the Irish is dying in the Gaeilge. So I'm delighted to hear that there are some areas where it's going well still. Okay, Gráinne, you have a new great initiative now called Millie's Fund. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So over last year and the first kind of 2 months of this year, we took in 25% more dogs last year than the previous year, and we took in around 200 puppies, and they were coming in really bad states, malnourished, not well looked after at all, and being dumped all over the place. And so we were under a huge amount of pressure for a very long time. Our team, they were, I would say, some of our team were pretty close to breaking point. We were really feeling it. And then in January, there was a crate found in Rosaithreach on the cave with 4 puppies in it, and they didn't have any food, and they were completely malnourished, and they were starving, and they were eating rocks to try to keep themselves alive. They're only a few weeks old, and one of those puppies, her name was Millie, and unfortunately she passed away. And so we got €28,871 from the Department of Agriculture. That's our funding from them. And we've decided that we can't keep going the way that we're going. we have to do something to stop the amount of puppies that are coming in the state that they're coming in as well. So we're using all of that money to put vouchers, to make vouchers available for people to get their female dogs spayed in Galway. So people can apply online on our website at www.madra.ie, and we're hoping that this is going to make a huge difference, that we won't see puppies coming in to us and the amount of puppies coming into us in the absolutely terrible state they were coming in, that if we put this money aside to help people spay their dogs, that it means that puppies won't be in that situation, and that mothers won't be having litters of puppies that are taken away far too young. They are then left wondering where their puppies are gone. So we are hoping that this money is going to help change what's happening in the county, because we can't keep going the way that we're going. We can't sustain the work that we're sustaining with the number of dogs that are coming in and with the cases that we're seeing. So we're hoping that this is going to help change that, and we're working with Galway County Council on this.
I didn't realise there until you were saying it there. Like, so are you saying that, like, you're talking about all these puppies coming in? Like, I've done a couple of interviews with puppy farms in Ireland, but are you saying that there are a lot of puppies being kind of born, not necessarily on farms, but just like born, and after a couple of weeks they're sold off? So it's kind of like a business. So the business is bigger than a lot of people think it is it?
Well, presumably the puppies that are coming into us have not been sold, so they've been abandoned, or maybe it's just a case that that's not the case with all of them. There's a case that people just aren't getting their dogs neutered, and then they're having unwanted litters, and instead of, picking up the phone and ringing us, a lot of these puppies are being abandoned and they're starving, and it's very difficult to be doing the work that we're doing and seeing this. There doesn't seem to be any change to it, and it's never ending. So we're hoping that this is going to help the situation.
Yeah, I find it unbelievable how cruel some people can be to animals, And just before you go for us part of the interview, I believe for this Millie's fund, it's free to get your dog neutered. It's only for residents of County Galway, is it? Yeah,
so it's not going to help your listeners on the East Coast at the moment. We're starting with residents in Galway, and we're hoping that maybe this is going to help spay around 200 female dogs, and this is going to be the start of it, and we'll see what happens after that.
And this year in Lína tá Gráinne Ní Mháille ón eagraíocht t-agallamh MADRA lunathe Camas Uachtair MADRA a Gráinne fáilte go dtí an clár? Go maith. A Gráinne tá fámhór ar lucht éisteacht a Raidió a ggéisteacht in aniu lunathe Maria a clé. Is ballum MADRA agus tá t-agallamh Raidió déanta gom thar na blianta le daoine ó Dogs Trust, Dog Advocacy Ireland, Meáin le gníomhairí cearta anmhaithe go generálta, agus tásúla na gom d'eagraíocht MADRA le roinnt blianta nuas. An féidir ar dús a intin dar lucht éisteachta a Gráinne dóibh siúd nach bhfuil ar nálas faoi cé híad an eagraíocht MADRA agus an obair.
Well, it's on a t-agallamh Mutts too, agus táid blonithe I Connemara, agus déanamid ná tógamid the seach MADRA, agus tríalamid tail nua aldómh, agus níon glór rehabilitation agus rudí mar sin le duna an freisin I Camas.
Okay, agus níl tú hain ag obair go lá náimse le MADRA, well?
Níl, it's either Jonach mé agus tá méid mór siúrthirí.
Agus is múntar scoilithú ceapan sé written lei, well?
Sin hain go dtíadach. Agus an sin bhí méid ríomhide duna obair sutarnúna le haid MADRA.
Okay. Agus chun is a hána sé ghfuil bainte go leis an eagraíocht a Gráinne?
Fus méid duna obair Jonach le MADRA ábhí dis mí, bhíoh méid donna amach go dtíon cenals a Camas agus tuairt na MADRA amach siúlóidí. Agus an sin thusanna a gobar le MADRA na kennels agus na sioppi agus an sin le chearfan eile sin dír si porta bacha ar an mór stróthirí.
Agus tá neart Ibrahim Jonacha go bhfuil?
Tá glór Ibrahim Jonacha an ní bheith mu an chuineal oscail gan an oberlig dhéanaan siad gach lá a mó ag na kennels na sioppi na meáin socialta an siomh idirlína dúman siad an stoi an chuid is smúgan over dún sé dunta it's Ibrahim Jonacha le dhéanaan an chuid smúgan over.
Agus tá siúpa a bháin ó Galway an áitin eile gon déna Gaillimhe a luúte an bhfuil?
Sin?
Tá siúpa nó Galway nach bhfuil?
Tá siúpa an I mai Colin.
Okay.
Tá si faoi láthir támuid á dhéanana níos smú, so tá sé cinál trína chéile faoi láthir ach bé sé níos seoir a gceann cúpla seachtain.
Sin chéntaach. Ceapan go sé simú fesin go le Conamara-based MADRA Camus Uachtair na Gaeltachta. An míon mór an Gaeilge le clúistáil I gceantar Carna ar I gceantar Camas a Gráinne mar hampla má I dhéantar cóirt bhór ionad?
Tá Gaeilge le clúistáil a Camas ach tá Gaeilge ag chuid gona Ibrahim Jonacha agus labhraing mu Gaeilge le chéile nar atá muid a móthain. A faria ní Gaeilge choilóna agus mar áir sin má hagan dennything samach chun cuat a thuirt an áit seans nach mé ein Gaeilge ag duine be móthain ach chuirmuid seirbhís Gaeilge ar fáil nar atá muid an.
Ní raibh mé riomh a Camas ach tá taithí go mar roiint áitina eile a Connemara has. Bíon lán ag chaint I dórscáil agus le héad faoi laidú na Gaeilge sa Gaeltacht. An ceantar sort láidir é Camas go fáil dar leat ó thaobh an Gaeilge?
Cínta bíon an Gaeilge ása ag daoine a Camas go léithúil. Bhfuil na sioppi sna scoilena ag an doctor bhfuil ag mar haintú ag an fórsnú ása mar eile ása be eile mar sin ag féidir Gaeilge leabhar le duine be atá go cheantar. Imar thuirm se.
Agus is múnseir scoileú ag an mun le bhéile, ná?
Well, tá mis faoi láthair ag obair is scoil speisialta go níon muid Gaeilge.
Okay. Tá tionscannamh nniu a gcuibh ag MADRA Millie's fund. An féidir a insin dún cailí seo a Gráinne?
So nara agus I Meáin ar san seabhar I mbliana tháinig ó cían bhaicéad chuileán isteach go MADRA agus I Meáin I mbliana for muid chead a chuileán I Crate ar an géibh hí Rosaíonn agus bhí siad chotánaí agus chotín agus is a giche cochaí chunéad hain chuneáil bio agus si Millie tan na chuileán sin agus farir for si bás bhí si rohín agus marall ar sin támuid héis an cinenne dhéanana formid domtas an rion tábhaíochta bí agus mara formid €8,870 Camas chuin an taige sin na léige úsáid chun darban ar fáil le mé daine an spé áil ar MADRA atá go Somália. And bhí anhrú ar an nura agus im léana agus cahamid rudchéantaíanana chun cuasaí áú tá MADRA agus glóir ar chuileán fáchaí jumpáid an nacháid agus chutín agus focusarthú agus nímas ná sin eáil níos nó Tásúlan in go mé mu an cuasaí áú leis an le Millie's fund go mé nach mé chun an jumpáidte marall nach mé literal ag daoine nachhfuil si a ggéire.
Is deas céile go bhfuil an service a gcuibh mar ceapan seir má tá tú ag géirí MADRA bheith nniúseir go ráta is mór an costa sé ceapan sin nach bhfuil.
Níl na figurí am le bheith naríide ach stoí go cosnín se is it takes cockhead she said branch out a notch so he so yeah so to my dear own had to show their falls squeaking me knock me brewer bubble me with an on Kuna horse Cadini I was going with an on coursey in Ireland Aru tan had to get in past when after with an MADRA when Oscar selection brew a earn to her so Tosaíonn nish go me with an on the Aru.
Agus just more score Lion service show all Haidini Sundini Cathair about Lunhe Gunday and Gaillimhe van Gaffer.
She may get either free law her knee. Tosaíonn go me with an on Cathair Fachid MADRA go me with an on Cathair Fachid Darvan and Cathair Fall Hadini. So free law had Thomas DúicheSheoigheach Gunday and Gaillimhe Márta Gira an Oscar team Colornia. Who come in with an already keen staff for Chiana, free law her, agus in chin second with Mata Adjada, new Mata, Ma second with Gail Aru more ticht, bake mock with an angle kind of Diniela, agus with Kintella, Come with DúicheSheoigheach, free law her.